Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want to welcome you to the greatest podcast, the most inappropriate pregame podcast known to man. If you only knew the nonsense we talked about a couple seconds before we get online, it's ridiculous. But
I just say it's subject matter that will probably never make this show.
What is it? NSFW, not safe for work or home or anything else.
Oh, that's what that means? I never knew what that meant, man. You know, I don't be doing all them abbreviations.
Not safe for work. But ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the greatest podcast known to man. I am him and he is me. I am C. Turner, the Prime Minister of Duval County himself. Chocolate pudding. Feel a little sexy right now. I'm not sure. I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? I got my rock shirt on and everything. I feel a little chocolatey pudding tonight. And my right-hand man on my left-hand side, but still my left-hand man on my right-hand side. The greatest wide receiver in Chicago public school history. You can at me at it. Cook County, stand up. South suburbs. You know what this is. He is the West Coast. E40 can holler at me if you got a problem about it. James Big Game Madison Walton III. What's going on, baby?
Look, man, we out here, man, just doing what we got to do. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Sometimes I wish I'd have played the public schools, man. I was actually out there playing that
you in the bird football, the burbs.
You see, it flips. See, like, you know, the city basketball is where it's at.
Right.
But football is out in the burbs.
In the burbs, okay.
South burbs, north burbs. Like, you know, you'll have some public league teams, like shout out Phillips that won a few years ago. They won a title. But it flips the other way. And I guess we'll throw Coach O's alma mater there, Mount Carmel, because, you know, they had some runs. But, you know, nobody likes private schools in Chicago, man. No. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to beat the brakes off. But I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I'm coming in subdued. I almost didn't even want to put a shirt. I was like, you know, this is a good time just to put a sponsor shirt on. You know, shout out Montana Axe Bar.
The greatest axe bar in the state.
Yeah, so shout them out all day. You know, man, it's just, you called me. I was like, of course, man. And now I'm getting into the mode and I'm like, how do we even talk about it? It's such a lackluster event. It's giving me lackluster vibes, man.
It is like the Pro Bowl has now turned into a shit show. Let's be honest, call it a spade. It's two-hand touch in full pads, which is for some of you who don't understand what that means, it's essentially like it's the day before game day, but you got full pads on, and y'all know y'all shouldn't hit each other, so you don't. That's all it is. Like it's two-hand touch in full pads. It's the worst thing on TV. Like they started out by doing some of the things back that we enjoyed. So the game itself is terrible. Like Sean Taylor is turning over repeatedly in his grave. Like, if you're going to play two-hand touch, just take the pads off. Like, as a fan, you'll get more out of it if they just take the pads, take the helmets off, and just go from there, which is going to lead me into what I think it should turn into. Like, there were several things about that game that just made my stomach physically turn because it's terrible. Like, there's nothing's at stake about the game. Like, not home field advantage, not anything. There's no money really on the line. Like, I'm sure there's but there's bonuses and everything that everybody gets from making the Pro Bowl, but it serves no point whatsoever to play in the game because outside of money, you're not going to show if you're better than somebody. It's two-hand touch, and it's like there's no sacks, there's no tackling to the ground, like there's no real competing for the ball once the ball is in the air. Like, the best part about the game is when the Diggs brothers essentially switch positions and Trevon went to receiver and the better Diggs went to cornerback, and they kind of went one-on-one at each other. Like that was actually physical.
I like how you just called him.
That's
hilarious.
He's the better Diggs. He's the better Diggs.
I mean, he is the better.
He's the better Diggs. It is what it is. Yeah. Right. But outside of that, dude, a game is beyond pointless.
Look, man, I mean, here's the beauty of this. I can't even remember the last time I watched the Pro Bowl.
Exactly.
So, America, I'm coming in here with no anger because I knew in my heart of hearts, like, I would rather hear that I missed something dope and be like, oh, man, and then I could just, like, watch the replay and talk about it. Chris Turner literally texted me, like, about, I don't know if it was in the middle of the game or it was, like, right after America. He texted me.
Right after.
And he was like, man, I gave up on that game 5 minutes in. And I said, well, that's a good thing I didn't waste 5 minutes today because I ain't have time. I ain't have time. Here's the issue. And this is when it started going downhill to begin with. And I knew that was going to happen. When you put the game in between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, that's when it lost all its luster. Because you knew for a fact, these are players that are not even going to be able to play in this game. In the old days, Joe Montana won a Super Bowl and he would play in the Pro Bowl a couple weeks later. So, I mean, we're always going to get to our solution. But, I mean, you can already see where mine's geared to. Number one is the date of the game is ridiculous. Like, listen about it. Like, think about that game. No Jamar Chase, no Joe Burrow, no Joe Mixon, no Cooper Kupp, no Matt Stafford, no Aaron Donald, no Jalen Ramsey. That's 7 of the best players in the league that weren't even had the attempt to go, you know what, maybe I want that extra. They're not even in the game. So to me, you know, and you know what, and Trey Hendrickson too, I think would have been a Pro Bowler. Might have been a Pro Bowler for Cincinnati, the DN at 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Got a motor. Like, so that's strike 1, 2, and 3. Cooper Kupp is one of the biggest names in football this year. Who doesn't want to see Cooper Kupp go against whoever the best DB in the AFC is, whoever they would have had, you know, Xavier Howard or whoever might have made. Like, that's the thing. I don't even know who made the Pro Bowl. Because at the end of the day, I mean, unless the Pro Bowl is an incentive in your contract, all pros get you paid. Pro Bowls, you know, get you a little TV time if you didn't make the playoffs. It gives you a little bit of action. You can do some things. So that's where I'm at with it, man. I honestly haven't watched. I think there was like one good game like 4 or 5 years ago. Score was like 2017. I feel like I was living in Montana still, and there was like a really good game.
Yeah,
it's at least been within the era where they played some really good defense. Quarterbacks struggled, like the defenses was on them, and they were playing basic D, and they were just locking dudes up, you know. But I think that was also in part because there were players missing in that game because I think they might have been at Super Bowl. So I'm a big proponent of that's why the game has turned shit, because who cares about going to Miami or who cares about going to Vegas? I mean, it's cool that y'all gonna pay for it. I mean, those are actually great sites. I mean, honestly, I'd be like, dude, I'd take a free 4 days to Miami if I was a player and free 4 days to Vegas. Right. You know, trick off. But of course, you know, if we're gonna talk about the Pro Bowl, let's talk about what the true highlight of the Pro Bowl was. Alvin Kamara getting arrested for battery charges.
Pretty much. You are 1,000% right, because outside of that, there wasn't another hit in the game.
I tell you what, though. I tell you what. You talk about doing some good branding, though. You know, let's talk about the positives of that game. And we're talking about positives. I didn't say you mentioned like the Diggs brothers going at each other. I think that's amazing. You know, You kind of wish Sterling Sharp's, neck didn't happen. You would have gotten to see some Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp trash talk tracks going back and forth with each other. And I think the other standout, I mean, this guy right here, the NFL is in good hands, seeing TB12 league. Matt Jones running all the way to the end zone and doing the gritty. That's beautiful.
Did not like it at all.
I loved it. I loved it. Hey, you know what? TB12's gone. MJ10 is here. Hey, he's the new one talking about Mac 10.
First of all, I'm gonna say it's Mac 10, first of all.
My bad.
And then
Mac
secondly,
10.
it's just something inside me did not enjoy seeing my Alabama quarterback do the gritty from LSU.
Oh,
It just
Lord.
it hurt me inside. Like everything about me hurt from seeing
I feel like
Mac
that would
10
have
do
been.
the gritty.
I feel like that would have been a Mike Shula player that would have been more willing to do the gritty. I mean, the fact that there's a Nick Saban, I bet Nick Saban was smiling like, "Look at my guy. Look at my championship guy. God, I wish I had him this year. God, I wish he'd have had another year of eligibility. That would have been nice." Could you imagine if Mac Jones would have had it? I would have been so miserable if Mac Jones would have had another year of eligibility. maybe
Him and Jameson together, that would have been ridiculous.
maybe them two and Mechie. Maybe Mechie doesn't get hurt, but it's you still haven't gotten your punishment for that. He'll get it.
It's coming. It's coming. I know.
This is too much. There's too much good stuff happening. So, I mean, Chris, when it comes down to it, man, I think this is what it's all about. It's all about what do we do to make this game better? And that's the reason why we basically on this show. And I've seen some good things. I want to shout out Norris Wren, our old teammate. He said a couple of brilliant things the day after the game. I love the stuff that he had. Just give him credit for that. He talked about guaranteeing contracts. I thought that was brilliant. A great idea by him, in my opinion. Talked about something else. He had a couple of really good points, and I wanted to give Norris Wren a shout out because he's one of ours, one of the younger Billings guys. But shout out to him, man. He was a very solid player, and glad I got to play with him for a couple of games. And Chris got to play 2 seasons with him. What do you got, CT?
Here's my idea. Well, one, I think you have the perfect idea. If you're going to keep it competitive, you have to move the date. The date has to get moved. Now, if you're not going to move that date, how many quarterbacks are in this? It's like 6, right?
Well, they usually get 3 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. You usually get 3 on each side.
Right. So here's my thing. You do 6 7-on-7 teams. Because that's all it really is. You do 6 7-on-7 teams. You get a running back, couple receivers, and a tight end. All right. All 6 of theirs got, and you just do, all right, first 1 to 28. Straight up, that's who wins. And then the championship team from the AFC and NFC, you play each other, get them a big trophy. If you want to make it even more fun, you let the big guys. All right, we'll give you guys 4 teams. Aaron Donald, you're a captain. Let's see. It's just like you get like the best defensive lineman. All right, you get 3 O linemen, 3 D linemen, whatever. And you get 4 teams, 2 AFC, 2 NFC, and let the big guys go 7-on-7. Get a champion from that. You still do the fastest man. You still do the 225. You do the dodgeball if you want to and all that stuff. Like I found the spectacular catch, whatever. That was kind of amusing. It's kind of WWE-esque with the showmanship and everything, but it is what it is. But if you're going to keep it the way it is, and now move the date, I feel like you just go 6 7-on-7 teams. Whoever has the best record out of the quarterbacks, from one conference, that's who gets the bye. And then you guys just go at it. And then it's AFC, NFC for the 7-on-7 championship. Because honestly, that's all this really is. Like they run the ball every now and then just so the running back gets a running back touch. But besides that, I mean, how fun would it be to see them pick teams and go 7-on-7. And then Tyreek Hill has to then turn around and go to cornerback because you're not coming out like we'll give you 9 guys in 7-on-7. We'll give you 9. And you guys just go back and forth at it. And that's how I would change it because would you not want to see Jalen Ramsey line up at receiver and then flip aside and then go have to guard Xavier Howard, who's now at receiver too? Like it'll be competitive that way because at the root of this, every high school star or athlete or whatever you didn't just play one position. Like you played a couple. Like it'll be fun to see Joe Burrow go line up at tight end and try to catch it out. It'll be fun to see, hell, J.J. Watt go play quarterback against anybody. Like to see a big man 7-on-7. Like all this would add fun to it because that seems to be the direction that you're trying to go to. Is we just want to have fun. So just go 7-on-7. Like that's what all the kids want to see anyway. It'll keep it light. It can be fun. It should, knock on wood, keep injuries kind of out of it.
That's where I disagree with you. You got big guys running routes. You got groin pulls, hamstrings, ACL. And I think the narrative of trying to keep injuries low, like we have to understand at the end of the day, this is football.
It's football.
You're going to get hurt or you're not going to get hurt. You either have a good run. Some of us are lucky we had those good runs. Or some of us, it's injury riddled here and there. You have some McCaffrey stuff, like it happens. So I like what you're doing though, because I think you're basically booking it, that makes it viable if we just take the pads off and keep your date there. It is entertaining. Now it has the factor of maybe we can do it too. Maybe there's some fan stuff you can do. Like there could be a, so-and-so like Tyreek Hill got to pick his favorite fans that send in highlight tapes of who they are to play for him. There's just a lot of interaction, great things you can do. Here's the things I think about, and it is revolved around the date. Here's the one I'm going to throw out first because I think it's the most far-fetched, in my opinion. I would move the date and really treat it like every other All-Star game there is in North American sports. It's in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
That's why they have two different teams. That's why the All-Stars, just because you're an All-Star doesn't mean you're going to be All-NBA.
True.
There's only 15 spots on the All-NBA team, 24 All-Stars. So 9 of them guys ain't getting an opportunity to make that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not getting that extra check.
So maybe you go, you know what? We just don't give anybody bye weeks, right? We extend the season, right? We still have 17 games. Everybody plays the first 8 weeks, the first 9 weeks. Nobody gets time off. We take a 3 to 4 week break in the middle. After that first 8 or 9 games, we evaluate, man, who's had the best season up to this point. And then the coaching staffs will be the Super Bowl team. We'll coach those staffs. Everybody get time off, take some weeks off. We'll reward those players that play, give them some time to just kind of relax. We'll do some basic stuff, but you still keep the contact within the game, because you still need the thud, you still need to hit, you still need to feel,
Right.
When you take like all of us, I don't give a shit what level you play, man. Like when those pads go off and you go into the off season, like it takes a while to rejuvenate. I don't care how calloused your body is. I mean, I remember, especially in indoor college, it wasn't so bad, I think, because we had spring ball. So you weren't that removed from it. It was easy and it was good. And then you get away with, maybe doing some thud stuff in the summer here or there. That sounds like more big time football where you'd have the bodies to kind of do some thud stuff and get away with it. Not like telling anybody. I understand that. Couldn't do that at Truman State. I mean, my 3rd year, I'd say my 4th, actually going into my redshirt junior year, Chris, was like the first year, like I really was like committed. Like I stayed the summer before, but I lifted, but I really just got drunk. I just didn't want to go to Chicago. I knew. Boys, I was working for Coors Light Distributor too. I was just getting hammered, bro. Let's just call a spade a spade. But that first year, I remember, and a lot of guys are like, man, we try, this is Kirksville, man. We trying to go back to our hometowns. We 21, 22, St. Louis, Chicago,
right.
Kansas City, surrounding areas there in Missouri. But a few of us stayed, and it made a difference. I mean, at least for me, like I'm working out 5 days a week, instead of like the 2.5 I think I did. No wonder my redshirt sophomore year was trash. That's how you only have 1 touchdown on 34 catches. I think I led us with 34 catches. Terrible.
That's not good.
Yeah, I didn't become a true like legit bona fide wide receiver till my 4th year of college. I was tricking off, bro. I was tricking off, but only like 15 of us stayed. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just 15 of us. Like, and it wasn't like all the positions. Like my quarterback went home. Like he was him and it was him and his fiance because he ended up getting married right after he got graduated. So he's back in Fulton, but he's working hard. He's studying, but
Right.
we wasn't there. He might have came up for a couple days, but y'all stayed in Tuscaloosa. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about like you
that's the difference between the big programs and smaller.
We didn't have an option. Like it was like, okay, school's over. Y'all got like 3 days, and then we got mat drills. Like it's
so you can actually put that work in. That's the ability because you guys also have the resources.
Right. Very true.
Harder than 39 scholarships for 100 guys. It's hard to tell guys,
You need to say.
Some of us was getting refund checks. Good portion of my teammates that wasn't getting that. So I mean, like that's just how it is. Like they knew he's the hottest stater.
Yeah.
And coming into that redshirt sophomore, you were like, hey, he's all we got. We just graduated the whole wide receiver core graduated, and then one of my guys came in. He didn't play for an entire year. You're like, well, he's all we got. He was our 5th leading receiver. Got to pay him. Got to make sure he's comfortable. Jeez. He showed some promise. He's an All-American anyway. But so that'd be one thing. Make it an all-star game.
Yeah. Which
gives you a chance to reward guys and give these guys time off. Like, basketball and hockey are different. Like, those guys just need a week, But football, give those guys 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
Play the game in like week 2. Like give the week off. Have some practices, keep guys together. Couple days here or there. Give them the rest of the days off. The whole week is built up to Pro Bowl week, right in the middle of the season. Everybody kind of gets to exhale. Let's celebrate the talent and what these guys have done the first 8-9 weeks. Let them thud up. I say tackle fall into the ground. It's football, man. Like, you can opt out of the game. Okay. And I know you feel the same way. Like, nah, I'm good, man. Like, thank you for the honor. Like, I'm gonna take the full 3 weeks. Yeah, give me the Pro Bowl money that I earned in my contract. But at the end of the day, just hop back in whenever you can, CT. Give me that, right? You still hear me, right? Okay, so here's my other thing. You move it back to playing it after the season, which is where I think it should be, period. But maybe it's 2 weeks after. Maybe it's not the week after the Super Bowl. Let's do a couple weeks. Maybe give these guys a week or so to rest their bodies in the Super Bowl, so maybe some of your guys will come play. And Chris, this is what it is, man. Money talks, bullshit walks. It's these owners. They cheat. If you want this game to be something and be another opportunity or whatever, let's talk about making sure these guys are getting $500,000. So just in case something happens to their body, they're taken care of. Let's lace that into an incentive that it doesn't mess with the salary cap, right? But what it does is it gets you for these guys to play hard because at least they know, hey, at least I'm going to have some game check money if something crazy happens.
Right.
Because we're all competitors at the end of the day. That was what I used to love about our league. And I think I'm part of the reason the game got shut down in the IFL. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it wasn't me. But that was fun to go against those guys at the end of the year. Like, we enjoyed that. And we hit hard in those games. Like, guys were going at each other, man. Like, it wasn't no like, there were some times where a guy wouldn't hit your ass hard, but
you still getting hit.
You start getting going. I know. Me and Q still laugh to this day. Shout out Q Brackenridge, because we played him in 2007. I had a decent little game, and he was one of the 7 All-Stars. Like, Billings had like second and third most All-Stars that year. It was Chris, Robert Reed, Anthony Candler, Candyman, Q Brackenridge, Ernie James, who I know you don't know. Gene was an All-Star that year, Gene Phillips. and Anthony Bonham was
Yeah.
an All-Star. It was 7 of them. And that's how I got to know him. And Coach O was the coach for the West. And I never forget, like, I caught the first touchdown of the game, went wheel route on Justin Landis from Sioux Falls. But I remember that was about as good as it got for me, because after that, Coach O was like, enough of him. That was like the third time I had caught a touchdown when Coach O was coaching the defense. And I went up for a wheel route, and it was a good ball. I can't remember if it was Ben Sankey or it was Dusty Burke threw it to me. And all I remember was I went up and I got knocked out. And I looked up, it was 2 Billing Outlaws silver helmets. And Q had his hand out like, I told you I was gonna get you back with 2 touchdowns. I was like, it picked me up, and that's what the All-Star game is. It's like,
and
man,
that's
you
it.
play hard, you don't play dirty, you're not trying to, it's nothing extra. Like, we all stars together. You know what I mean? Like, there's a respect here. We were all just partying in Bloomington. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, shout out to you, by the way, dude. So I actually ended up wrangling all them guys, and it was a Sigma party that was down there that we went to, because it was cool with the frats. And man, we flowed that party into the street, bro. I don't know how the police had called it us. I'll have to tell you some of those stories off camera. So those would be my solutions.
Off camera.
But the bottom line of it is that, Chris, what you're saying and what I think I'm saying and what I think a lot of people are saying is, listen, if you want the game to not get the backlash it got, because when you got Deion Sanders and Shannon Sharp and all these guys, and you started the show saying the ghost of Sean Tim, one of the most revered football figures in all the world, and his hit to this day on Brian Moorman
is legendary.
It's legendary.
It's legendary.
Like, that's a problem. Deion Sanders is the ambassador of the game right now.
Yeah.
And he's shitting on your All-Star product. He's shitting on your All-Star product. Like, that's no good. Even the NBA kind of revamped their stuff to where, all right, it's cool. Like, we still get our highlights and it's not, but when it comes time to play defense, like, these boys saddle up and they're trying to win that game, because I think they've got a pot of money that there's a discrepancy between winning and losing that those guys split. And that's what it came down to. So you need what? You probably need what? To field the, they probably have like between O-line, D-line, linebackers, they probably got about 60 guys, 50, 60 guys on each team.
Yeah.
Basically like the NFL roster, right?
Pretty
so
much.
if you told me as a player, like, you know what? I'd have made my money, but you know what? The winning team gets to split $2 million.
I'll take that.
And the losing team splits $750,000. Or you find that number. Oh yeah, here it is. So let's say there's 50 people on each team. Winning team splits $1 million. Dead even. Tax free.
Donate to the charity, keep it, whatever you want to do, but this is what we're splitting.
50 players. God, my math is terrible. 50 players splitting $50 million. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to pay the winner $1 million. Sorry, America. That was terrible, man. Sorry, Truman State. I let you down on that one.
Very much so.
So make one person's $10 million and the other person's $50 million. And it ain't like the owners ain't got that. Write it off. Every owner can pitch in for that. Roger Goodell could pitch in from his $50 million a year salary. Like, stop.
Easily.
The sponsors can pitch in for that. Like, that's how you make that game. And you know what'll happen? Them guys ain't gonna want a thud.
Nah.
They're gonna hit each other hard. They're not gonna play dirty. That still has to have the same rules, No exotic defenses. You can play basic zone coverage, no blitz. And that's the beauty, because you get to see the man-to-man of the O-line and the D-line on those passes. And then the run matters. Now you get to see how good, those fits are, those linebackers. How good is that running back? Hey, ISO right, ISO left, toss right, toss left. Who are you gonna make miss? And that's what I would see the solution. Like, that's just where I'm at. Like, outside of that, I don't even really watch the NBA. I watch All-Star Weekend. I don't watch,
the
I haven't
festivities
watched an All-Star game I haven't watched an All-Star game in years. Like, the baseball All-Star game I can appreciate,
Oh, I love the baseball All-Star. Like, I love the classic. Like, it's fantastic. But I think we gotten as far as we can get with it. I mean, what's going to change is what's going to change, and when they'll get tired of like a bullshit product here eventually and figure out how to revamp it, and it'll be all courtesy of
Not bad at the
What's
end
Good
of the day.
America.
Oh,
Yeah. See what I did there? How kind of rolled into it?
That was good.
Well, we're going to get into the Tony Award-winning, Grammy Award-winning segment of the show, which is Give Me a Minute. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
Man, listen, you brought us to the dance, man. I actually feel like I need to close with my Give Me a Minute. I've been prepping this since Friday, so.
Oh, by all means, sir. By all means. So
you get it in, man.
All right. America, as he takes my sip for me, give me a minute. I get now that recruiting is showmanship. It's NIL deals. It's the gravitas of it all right now. I get it. I'm not above it, and I feel like if I would have came up in this age, I would be all for it. But when you are a new coach at a school, let's just for shits and giggles, let's call this school Louisiana State University. For shits and giggles, let's say that the number one D lineman that you wanted to get, you're a new coach, you're an older coach from the north, and you try to speak with a southern twang, but it doesn't really work out well because like everybody know you bullshitting. And now they're doing like the little 360 camera and like you're doing the gritty behind this defensive lineman looking real suspect as hell. And then you wonder why that same number one defensive lineman that you were going for went a little further north and signed with the guy who doesn't dance in your videos, ain't all in the background of your 360 camera.
He went to death
ain't
row.
trying to speak with a southern twang. He came to death row, all right?
He to death row.
Listen,
hey, real talk, Alabama is death row record. Like, straight up. Like, I got to give props. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That Nick Saban he is the Suge Knight.
He is Suge Knight, bro. He is Suge Knight. Now, don't get me wrong. They got Nick doing the Cupid Shuffle like a couple years ago or whatever. But guess who he was doing the Cupid Shuffle for? Devontae Smith. Guess where Devontae went? Alabama. You're not about to catch Nick doing the gritty on the 360 camera, like being real suspect. Like, it's fake. Like, everybody can do the Cupid Shuffle, all right? It is what it is. Everybody know how to do it. But nobody wants to see a 65, 67-year-old white man doing the gritty behind an 18-year-old black kid. The shit looks suspect as hell. Cut it out.
Unless he was in Breaking. Hey, if Brian Kelly was an extra in Breaking and could actually dance, you want to see that all day.
I kind of would.
It's like the high school coach they always show that used to dance for MC Hammer, and he goes crazy.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I like Buddy. But with all that being said, man, like, listen, stick to what you're good at. I have no problem with that coach. Besides the school that he coached at, and I don't particularly like his personality, but outside of that, like, dude, recruit the way you recruit, but don't be out there doing the gritty and speaking with a southern drawl now because you've been in Louisiana for like a month and a half, 2 months. Be yourself. Take these losses to Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt like a man, because, I mean, you got a lot of rebuilding to do because Coach O and his staff, when they left, a lot of them guys either went to the draft or they transferred to Tulane, Louisiana Tech, and all these other places. Or your number one corner came to death row. America, that's been my minute.
Hey, listen, you might have to try to get that. You might have to try to get that over to Alabama. Like, that might be that might be some marketing.
All in the video.
Oh. That's pretty good, man. All right, I like the take that you took there. Good for you, man, to try to punch out of this.
Yeah, I got to get out of it, man. I got to get out of it.
Now, what'd you guys end up? Were you guys number one officially after signing day?
2.
Pretty good. Who was number one?
A&M.
Jimbo.
Yeah.
LSU's like,
yeah.
oh, shit. Why didn't he come home? Come home.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, that just burns you when Jimbo's got the number one recruiting class. And he's gotten over his, he's gotten over his Suge Knight kryptonite. So I mean,
like he's Diddy right now. Like it is what it is.
It's like, all right. I still got one of my running backs coming back. That quarterback got a year older. The West will be fun, man. All right, I like it. America, as I take my sip of orange juice in Kettle One, because you can tell I'm broke because I got orange juice. Still tastes like Sunday morning. America, give me a minute. So Chris Turner, I told you I was very excited about what I was going to tell to you and to the world today. This podcast has been groundbreaking how it has handled its alcoholic endeavors, whether it's been our ability to put Screwball on the map in different places that it wasn't even there, whether it's the mentions of Root Out Whiskey, where as soon as this money starts to kick in, it's going to be on like hot butter, right? Whether it's been our White Claw obsessions in the summer, whether it has been the Costco brand that we know and love as Kirkland, we have always been hard hitting and let you know the way to get down. Chris Turner, it just comes down to this. Even though you are with me in the headphones, I am not showing off what I'm getting ready to show you right now until I see you back on the screen. And I love your timing, it's perfect. I want to credit my wife. I do that a lot on this show and have the last 2 years. But we were out at Bevmo. And as soon as we walked in to Bevmo, she goes, babe, what the hell is that? I go,
No.
She said, we got to get these. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot, And I stayed away from it. I had my Tito's, I had my ginger beer. I was having a good time. And she started drinking one, and my buddy Dustin had one. And then Dustin went back for another one. And then my wife had another one. And we was over there just playing cards, man, just having a good time. And probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, I did it. And I'm here to tell you right now, I have found our new sponsor that we are going after. This is the best seltzer in all the land. Sonic, I didn't know that you had it in you. Listen, I drank the one with the coconut on it in a blue can. First of all, who puts coconut and blue and colors together? Nothing about that feels right. Chris Turner, when I tell you I drank that, and I said, this is the most refreshing. America, when I tell you. Sonic wants you to know that this is happening. And this is how I feel right now. Oh my God. It's incredible. Chris Turner, I have told you some things on this show. I have told you about One Tree Hill. You've told me about how COVID is basically John Cena's fault.
Pretty much.
And I'm telling you right now to start 2022, if you see these, what is it, at Doc and Eddie's or wherever, I know they got them out there. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I have a question. I'll wait till you finish before I ask my question.
Chris, you got to get on. You got to get on these. You got to try one. I'm looking for this to be in a continuation. Give me a minute. We go. That son bitch did it again. Did it again. America. This is your summer go-to. I mean, it makes me literally want to go to Sonic every time. I can't even remember the last time I had a Sonic burger. I mean, I want to shout out our Montana crew. I know y'all eating at Sonic often. But man, just imagine putting one of these hard seltzers into one of those 99 limeades. Man, shot of vodka in there. Look here. Sonic don't know what they did. They need to, how they got Taco Bell cantinas and
Yeah.
They need to do a Sonic cantina.
Oh my God.
And they got their own brand. So America, You heard it from me first. Sonic
like
Hard
summer.
Seltzer.
Tastes like
It's,
summer.
it's the best seltzer in the game. It's killing White Claw. I love your White Claw. You had your chance. I'm going at the Sonic because at the end of the day, if we can't get seltzer, we might get free burgers and fries, and I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
Sonic, you are now being tagged in this. America, that's been my minute.
So first and foremost, before I ask my question, big shout out to 9 Round Fitness. I was just the other day, me and the kid punching and having the best 30-minute workout in Billings, Montana. There's 2 locations. Make sure you go to the one on Grand. You might run into somebody you know, the big guy. Big shout out to Rebel Coffee. It's only one location in town, so it's always the right location. Make sure you go to Rebel Coffee. Tell them What's Good America sent you. You won't get anything free, but they'll know we sent you.
And
Big
really,
shout out to the that's a fact. Help your boys out.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the best clothing, hardest working clothing for the hard working woman. Chic Workwear. What else you need? Yeah,
Ooh,
go ahead.
I like that. Oh, I like
chic.
chic workwear. ... What else you need? Let's go. Chic workwear. If Whitney is every woman, chic workwear is every woman's work clothing.
It don't get no better. Ladies and gentlemen,
Saying.
if this podcast needed, we might become admin. That's honestly, we just might just do marketing for random companies.
I mean, seriously, I feel like we could have been at Jingles 2000 with Jamie King back in the day.
I mean, we could have been with Anthony Anderson on Blackish. Like we could do things, man.
Hey, for real. Shout out Montana Axe Bar.
So big shout out to all the sponsors. We appreciate you, Montana Axe Bar. Everybody who supports and follows the show, make sure you share it, like us, tag us and everything, Barstool Sports. We appreciate and sincerely appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's like the views are going up. So somebody's talking about something to somebody. So we appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We see it.
With all that being said, the same question that I asked you tonight, it's the same question I ask you every night. And what's that, Walt?
What's good, America?
What's good, America? Sonic Seltzer. God. And it's a watermelon. You just set black people back so far. God, turn this off. God.